All right, hello and welcome to League of Loggers. This is episode 11. Today we are discussing quarterfinals for the playoffs, and teams made it and teams did not make it. So
that is how playoffs work. There are eliminations.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point of playing?
Yeah. So on Saturday we saw Golden Guardians face off against FlyQuest,
Indeed.
and that series went the distance. It went 5 games.
It did, yeah. I found that just an interesting tidbit about it. The fact that each team had decided, like, I want red side or I want blue side, so they played the same sides all 5 games.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they do that in this on Sunday too? The 4 games were played.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Echo Fox went blue side every game as well.
I think that's actually smart. Like, why change it up if you could just stick with it?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you think it's gonna change your draft and help it, absolutely, but apparently they planned all their drafts around, like, one side and just, like, it worked. Or all their best drafts they felt were on that side. I don't know. But yeah, so, our predictions for that day, Chase had predicted his boys 3-2. So you predicted the 5 games, but you were off 2, because you predicted 3-1, I believe, right? 3-1 FlyQuest, so you had that right, and I managed to get it on the money. I mean, and we all thought last week that it was going to be a very close match, and it really was.
All of them were fairly close.
Yeah, I mean, that series was really interesting, and the fact that we had the first 3 games anyway, were like a stomp one way or the other. Like, it was just like, oh, Golden Guardians crushed it. Oh, FlyQuest crushed it. Oh, and then, like, game 4 was just, like,
it was like a
crazy close game.
And then 5 was kind of like that until FlyQuest took it away, right?
Yeah, it started close and then FlyQuest really, ran away with it. I felt like, anyway.
The series made me very sad.
I'm sorry. Your boys did good, though.
I watched them. I watched them live. I thought it was... I mean, when they won, they looked good winning. When they lost, they didn't look very good losing.
And, I mean, I personally have an issue with the drafting in 2 of the games where they took Lissandra for Froggen. And just taking Lissandra is not necessarily a bad thing, but he was playing Aftershock Lissandra, which is all about CCing and helping the team. And in one of those games, they didn't draft enough damage elsewhere for that to work, first of all. And secondly, just the makeup of that team. What have we seen the most success on? What do we want to see? We want to see Haunter on, like, a bruisery or tanky top laner, so some damage, but not like a hard carry. We do want to see Contracts bring some damage from the jungle, but he is unreliable. If you go down to the bot lane, definitely super reliable. Honestly, I still think underrated, because, like, we saw some of his stats heading into the game this week, and it was like, holy shit, his stats are great. Like, he's good, but he's not going to, like, put the whole team on his back, generally. Yeah. Like, he needs somebody else there to, like, be bringing the pain. And, of course, support's never going to be, like, your damage. So they need somebody else to be dealing damage, and that needs to be Froggen. And we saw him play Kurtis and do really fucking well on the Kurtis.
Well, in one of those games, he had 60% of all the damage dealt on his team.
Yeah.
Like, it was a little bit ridiculous.
I don't think the Lissandra pick is...
I don't
Froggen's
like it
best.
for him.
Yeah, I don't like it for Froggen. Like, there's some people on Lissandra that just are like, yeah, this is good. But I've never seen Froggen do amazingly well on Lissandra.
Like,
so.
I mean, the analysts, the casters, and the teams have been talking about all year, and I think Reddit probably is too, and we've been talking about, we want to see Froggen on carry champs. And when he picks carry champs, they do well. I mean, in their 2...
I wish you'd have printed, like, one of those papers.
It's okay. In their 2 wins, he played Vel'Koz, and he played Kurtis.
Yeah.
Like, and we saw it on the Vel'Koz. He was, like, busting his ult constantly just to, like, do damage and get lane pressure.
Get people down. Yeah.
Great, do that all day, but you can't do that on Lissandra. Like, it's not going to do you any good. And it was really frustrating to watch the team commit to doing that.
Especially since I don't think there were, like, Froggen hard bans, basically. I'm sure they banned out some of the mids that they were wary of. But Froggen had other champions that he could have played.
Yeah, they banned Vel'Koz in the last game, but
not an
otherwise, like, they only banned, like, I think... No, they didn't even ban Riot. Oh, they were banning Silas every game, which I think is targeted at Froggen as well, to be honest.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Haunter would be playing it.
I can't see it on GG's at all, to be honest.
Right, and I think Froggen... I mean, Silas is kind of more of a carry champ, too. Maybe Hanser would have played it, but I don't know that it would have been a good selection. I can't say without having seen him played a bunch. But yeah, I think that was my biggest takeaway for Golden Guardians in that series, is that the draft bothered me that they were picking specifically the Aftershock Lysandra for Froggen. I can't think of what he played in their other loss, but I'll find it.
Golden Guardians...
Oh, Vel'Koz once. He lost on it. That's right.
Saw a ton of Jarvan out of contracts. I really liked it until it didn't work right.
Yeah, I think it's a good champion for him. I want something that's fairly aggressive for contracts, but does a lot of contributing to a team fight so that he's not trying to go off and do shit on his own. I worry about him when he's on Kindred, because Kindred can 1v1 people, and I don't want to see him put himself in those situations.
Yeah. No, I like the Jarvan on him. He's able to get in, and it's usually like based around his ult. He goes in, he ults, hopefully gets one, maybe two people, and then hopefully Froggen's there to just straight blow them all up.
Yeah.
And we saw that happen pretty decently in the games that they won, but couldn't make it all.
Yeah,
all 5 rounds, sadly.
No, unfortunately not. Before we shift gears to talking about FlyQuest a bit, I think we should, since Golden Guardians is now done for the split, let's look at their season, their split, and kind of them heading forward a little bit. I mean, obviously, this split was I don't think you can argue it wasn't a rousing success for them. Even though they got bounced in the quarterfinals, they went from 10th place, switched a couple roster spots out, and made it to playoffs. And went 5 games in playoffs, too. Like, that's not a poor achievement in any way. One of those games goes differently, and they're still in this. So, not only do they make it, like, to the top half of the league, they could have gone further than, like, in the top, third of the league. So, I mean, obviously, good success this season, but what, if anything, do they need to change, improve on to continue on this trend?
I don't know. Like, I think they found their formula, and I think it's really working for them. I think that they just kind of found it a little bit later in the split than... Like, if they were playing like this during week 1, they probably had a couple more wins, and maybe they're in, like, 4th, 5th place instead of 6th place.
Right.
Or 5th place, I guess.
They could have been facing Echo Fox.
Yeah, exactly. So... I think that they finally found their groove. Like, I really like how they're playing right now. I don't know. I don't really want them to change much. I don't even know.
What do you think they can improve on then? Like, what specifically do they need to focus on to get better? Like, they don't have to, like, swap out a person to
I don't even think they do. I don't even think they have to change up much. Like, I don't know that they really need to change anything. Like,
Well, I mean, they have to, obviously, if they're not winning the whole thing, right? Like... The goal is to be the best.
Fair enough.
You play to win the game.
No, you play,
old NFL quote.
You play to be better than most of the teams. Like,
maybe if you're Hooney at this point, you're desperate.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't ever see Golden Guardians being a number 1-2 team, not unless something dramatically bad happens to.
But I mean,
Team
as a team, that's their goal. So what should they focus on to get closer to that goal?
I don't think you do anything without roster swaps.
You think this team is peaked at where it is right now?
No, I think that they're in a good place going into the next split.
You are not answering the question.
Because that question's hard.
It is. That's fine.
Like,
you can say it's hard and I don't know.
Especially for, like, silvers.
But I'm not saying that I don't know. I'm saying I do know. I think that...
You said they don't do anything! And then without roster swaps. And
I think he's happy that they're winning at all.
I'm saying...
And I said they should be when I started the whole thing.
I'm saying if that week 1 or week 2 went slightly different, they won a couple more games.
Okay. If the goal is to be the best and win the whole fucking thing...
Never gonna happen. Again, it's never gonna happen unless you swap out the entire roster.
Okay, you're not even engaging the question, so I'll move off of you with it. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I do, because I don't know them as well as you guys, and I don't think that they're going to be a top contender. But if they had things to change, one would be, catch them all. Froggen needs to be able to play Lysandra.
Okay, there we go. We're engaging the question now.
Well, that's like one of the few that I can think of. Froggen has some really good champions, and even though they lost the one time I saw him play Anivia, he played Anivia to a degree that I would not have ever. I don't play.
You should look up some of his old games on that.
Yeah,
shit. It's
he
crazy.
does some cool stuff to like block pathing and his walls. I just throw down a wall and it's like angled the wrong complete direction. He nails them so that people can't move the way they want to.
Yeah.
But the Lysandra pick is something that I think he's weak on, and that should be something like he needs to practice on or find other champions instead of always just picking this Lysandra because teams just pick Lysandra.
I would agree with that. I mean, like, I guess my criticism for them in this series alone was I feel like Haunter Froggen has to carry along with Deathly. Like, they need to find other ways to win. And they're too one-dimensional right now.
For Deathly, I think he needs a better support. I like Ole, but I think Ole and JJ are very, very the same kind of skills level, I guess.
Right.
And I think they both make mistakes a lot. And their good plays aren't like, oh my god, core JJ plays, or Zazel or, something.
Right.
I do think... Because I watch Ole, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing right now, man? Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to see him off the roster. I just think that him and Deathly need to be a better team bot lane.
I mean,
you want Deathly to carry.
And that's definitely possible. It was their first split together, so maybe they do improve that synergy.
That's good to know. See.
Like, along with what you said about, like, Froggen being able to play, like, the Lysandra Aftershock, I think for that to happen... Contracts needs to be more reliable in the jungle.
And Contracts is good. We've seen some like very like small, what are they called? Like just minor stuff that makes a really good play.
Oh,
like
okay,
like using one ability at the precise time to null like something. Blah 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 blah. It's on the micro level. That's what I would say. He's really good in like little tiny micro plays. So I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
But...
and so I would agree with you. Like. That Froggen, it'd be great if he were able to play the Aftershock stuff. And I don't know that necessarily he's not good at it. He's not great at it, but I don't think he's not good at it. I think the team as a whole, though, for them to be able to expand their play style, then it probably requires Contracts to be able to be counted on to do damage and not kill himself. And so that's where I would say like the team improvements need to come from is Contracts needs to become more reliable, which also allows Froggen, in a lot of ways, oddly enough, to evolve as a mid laner the same way Bjergsen has in his career. Because early on, Bjergsen just, like, fucking killed you. Like, he won his lane, he hard carried TSM, that's what he did for, like, 2-3 years. And then and the way you beat TSM at that time, and the way they constantly got beaten in international play, was, okay, fine, go beat up on everyone else, because he can't carry 4 people who are way behind.
Yeah.
Like, he could carry 1 or 2 people who are behind, but if the whole team got slammed except for him, like, we've all been in those games, it's like, I'm 15-2! And it's like, well, everybody else on your team is 2-18. Like, yeah, you're gonna lose.
I've been in that game more often than not.
Right? And we've also been the person who's 2-18.
Yeah. I've been on every side of that equation.
But, like, we've watched Bjergsen this year. Like, he doesn't dominate his lane. He plays for the team constantly. And I don't think I want to see Froggen go necessarily that far, but he needs to be able to shift towards that, and for him to do so, there has to be more reliable damage on the team than just himself and Deathly. So, that's my thought on Golden Guardians. I mean, they had a great split, and I think they're just going to improve going forward, and hopefully they do. Like, even if they don't move up spots because of it, like, you'll obviously see, like, that they improved and they're challenging. Because, like, right now, I don't think any of us think they can challenge Cloud9 or Team Liquid and pull more than maybe a game off of them in a best of 5. But if they get better and better, then we could be like, oh, they could take them to 5. I don't think they'd win it, but they'd get 2, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the only weeks that looked bad for Golden Guardians was week 1 and 2, and they really started to look good after that. Like, if they played as well as they did week 9 and week 1 and 2, like, I bet they pick up at least 2 more wins. Because, I mean, they played FlyQuest, Fox, Cloud9, and 100 Thieves. Like,
and 2 more wins would have put them... They would have swapped spots with FlyQuest, I think is all. I don't think they took TSMs.
No, not quite. But, TSM was 13 and 5, so...
Yeah.
But I think that they, at best, move up to 4th place. Like, that's where I see them. And I think that's pretty respectable.
Right. But, it's just they have to make some improvements to do it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess in that sense, consistency is also improvement, but when we look at Spring Split, usually the first few weeks, who fucking knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because we came in off of a split where just basically every team was shooken up.
A couple roster changes apiece.
Yeah.
Nobody stood pat. There's at least one change per team. You had something.
Only, this is completely hypothetical, never gonna happen. He said that if they want to be top contenders for the 1 and 2 spots, they'd have to change out their entire roster. And I was gonna say they could just buy C9's Academy.
I don't know that I get them that far, but there's teams who would love to do that, I'm sure. God.
I like GG's overall. I like them more now than I did, but also the only person I knew on that team was Froggen. So.
Right. Yeah,
he was the only one that I only knew of. I never had seen him play because he wasn't pro last year. So.
Gotcha. Right. Actually, I've known of the name for a while now.
Oh, he's been around back since season 2. So. CLG Black, I believe it was called.
Jeez.
Yeah, CLG EU.
Had a color.
It was CLG Black, then CLG EU, or maybe it was the other way. And no, he's been around for a fucking age. All right, so moving on from Golden Guardians, let's go on to FlyQuest, who won it. So I mean, what did they do right? What did they do not so right to take 5 games to do it? Yes, you with the hand.
They fixed Wild Turtle's hair.
Okay, you said it. I didn't look it. I didn't look it up.
You didn't see it. Oh, I saw.
I need to look it up.
I really just think that he needed a haircut at some point. You can't keep defying gravity forever and make it go to a skyscraper.
Yeah, but you can trim it, you can clean it up without doing that.
Yes, but
and they went 0-2.
Coming from
but won the tiebreaker.
coming from having long hair, you just once you get to so long, you just cut short so you can just fucking start again. And I think that's kind of what happened. Maybe he wanted to try it. I don't know. That's giving it too much credit.
There are better choices than the bowl
cut.
I agree.
There was the FlyQuest, their VOD series they do.
Yeah.
Or not VOD, but their video series on YouTube that they do, blog series.
I'm watching him play StarCraft against their
Did
Academy.
you see the little bit after that?
No, I stopped watching.
Okay, it was just shortly after that. They did a segment on him and his hair, and I didn't catch if they said I didn't catch if they said why, but he was sitting on the couch with JJ, and he's just so do you like my Rock Lee haircut? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then they showed it's a fucking Naruto character?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And they showed
wow.
They showed the character, and I'm like, I think that's Naruto. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just surprised.
But and he's got a fucking just shitty ass bowl cut. Yeah. And I'm like, dear God, if you got that haircut because you're like, I like that character and I think that would be great.
You'd have to go jet black.
You've got brain damage. I just don't even know. But he was like, you like my Rock Lee cut? And Judy was like, it's okay. He's like, at first I thought, what the hell is that? But it's growing on me. I'm like, I don't know how that shit's growing on you.
Well, they spend enough time together in a very confined spot. It's just you look less weird than you did yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I got over the way you look.
Oh.
Don't worry. I still haven't got over the way I look.
Still on that one.
Oh man, but yeah.
Anyways, he started fluffing it back up in this series. You can see it not being a bowl cut on his head.
It was so garbage.
That's all I wanted to say. We had to mention it. Of course.
That's all you wanted. You don't have any other thoughts on FlyQuest?
They don't need to change anything. Their playstyle's perfect. Just, good job, FlyQuest.
So okay, personally, I think they played fairly clean games. There were definitely gaps in that. Okay. But the reason they won overall is because they played a cleaner series than Golden Guardians did. I mean, there's a draft, whatnot, too. And I think actually another thing they did was, as the series went on, they adapted and they had very creative and varied drafts. They were pulling out different champions the whole fucking time. All of a sudden at the end, Santorin's playing Kurtis jungle.
Oh my god. I've never been happy about that, but I was actually happy. And then, even in Champ Select, I was like, holy shit. Santorin's on Kurtis jungle right now. I don't know what to think.
I was really hoping that it was going to fuck him, and it didn't.
You were hoping it was going to fuck him? Oh, because it's your team, duh.
Yeah.
Russia's not allowed to play Kurtis jungle, Santorin is.
Yeah. No, and it worked really well for them, and it really snowballed off of right away. Contracts tried to go for an invade, and it went south. And so not only did he give over a Dark Harvest stack right away, which isn't that big of a deal because that's, a little bit of damage here and there that
Still
is
stack.
adding in.
I dive for that stack sometimes.
That first one?
Any stack. I see that little red bubble on someone, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. Like, getting early is not... It made his jungle clear fast. Or does it actually... No, Harvest only procs on champs. Never mind. But, it is nice. It makes his ganks better when Kurtis has garbage ganks,
Yeah.
But it also makes him more of a threat in the 1v1. But because of that, and getting scuttles, and, taking away raptors and all that, he ended up, 2 levels up on contracts. That snowballed really hard for a while.
I think not just the Kurtis pick, Santorin's a better jungler.
Oh, agreed. I mean, I wouldn't argue that he's not by any means. But yeah,
sorry, you wanted it to fuck him, but...
I did. I really did. I was like, ooh, Kurtis, this should be good. And it really wasn't. At least not for me.
Not for him.
Yeah, I mean, but we saw them, shift to prioritizing the Aurelia, and they brought out Morgana in the last game. They just kept moving around pieces, and they never sat on one comp, or even more than, 3 picks out of a comp, so that Golden Guardians could never go, okay, all this is the same, we know how they're going to play that, and then we just have to adjust for that one piece. They were constantly having to adjust for an entirely new comp.
Yep.
And I think that helped them quite a
Yeah,
bit.
having a little bit of a deeper champion pool, or at least pulling out some more random stuff, I think helped FlyQuest.
Yeah.
Because that's really what screwed Golden Guardians. Is just they didn't play anything consistently. It's kind of grab bag. What are we gonna play? Oh, we're gonna play Kurtis Jungle today. Cool, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That would be
Well, in the Kurtis Jungle is also a smart pick because we left it up. Golden Guardians thinks they're gonna get it. Yoink!
Yes.
And it's because they took it first round. I thought they took it first round in the back end, didn't they? Oh no, they didn't. So actually, mid was already taken. That Vel'Koz was taking that game, or I'm sorry, mid was taken Vel'Koz, and then they took it into the jungle. So it was kind of a strange out of nowhere pick. But I mean, it's just they kept Golden Guardians on their toes. They couldn't.
They
get
also
into a rhythm.
played things that they were very, very comfortable with, and it's shown too, like Pobelter Zoe.
Yeah.
Let's just bring out the Zoe, and you're just good.
And
he demolishes people.
As much as Pobelter has been kind of middling this season, he's had carry performances this season, no doubt. But Game 4 and Game 5, he fucking went off this. Or maybe it wasn't Game 4. It might
was
have
two
been
different
Game
champs
2
too,
and
right?
Game 5. Yeah, it was Zoe in Game 5. I believe it was also Game 2.
I don't remember. It wasn't.
Yeah, Game 2 on the Swain. He went hard
You're
carry
right.
on
And
the
then-
Swain.
And then GG's pick swing at one point, right?
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
next match, maybe?
Maybe not. No, it was
No,
4
no,
or
no.
5.
They didn't
Pretty sure they
pick it?
picked swing.
No,
No?
Fox did the next day, or TSM did, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh man,
I think that's what
switched
you're
the
thinking
days,
of.
Probably.
Yeah.
I was like swing,
But yeah, no, Pobelter's swing was gross. He got...
and I didn't know that was a champion he could excel at all.
I didn't either.
Grab bag.
To me, that's a Fabevin champion. In which he's not even in LCS anymore. He's back in the LEC now. And, I don't know, it was really good. His Zoe was really good. He just... He did what Froggen did in the 2 wins for Golden Guardians and needed to do in one of their other games. And it was just crazy. And Pobelter gets so much, not hate, but kind of people look down their nose at Pobelter on Reddit.
I don't know why.
Because it's Reddit.
Because Reddit's,
okay,
fucking full of shitlords. But yeah, it's so dumb. Hold on, I gotta finish it. But you can grab it for me. Oh, you want the opener? It's over there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
yeah, no, Pobelter, because he has failed to show up in the way he needed to in some very important situations. People are like, oh, Pobelter's not that good. He never carries, blah, blah. It's if you look at the score lines of every game, you can be he carried on that one? No. They carried hard on that one? No. And in this series, out of 3 wins, he hard carried 2 of them. I had made my 3-2 prediction based on thinking Wild Turtle would be the difference. Absolutely Pobelter. I mean, Santorin I knew was going to be better. But, out of the mid laners who I thought were comparable and the bot laners who I thought were comparable, I thought Wild Turtle was going to make the difference. No, it was Pobelter. It was absolutely Pobelter.
Yep.
Kids showed up. Do you have thoughts on it that you can squeeze in?
No, not about FlyQuest. I think that they played a really good set. Well, they looked really bad games 2 and 3, and then they like completely turned things around.
FlyQuest games 1 and 3.
But yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Game 2 was...
No, you're right. Game 1, like, we rolled in that and Golden Guardian stomped him like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was
what?
actually kind of surprised about that too.
And then game 2, like, they stopped him like, okay. And then Golden Guardian stomped again 3. I'm like, okay. No, it was right the first time. And like, oh man, it was nuts.
It was it was probably more fun than the TSM one.
Yeah.
TSM versus Fox.
I think the one game and one play that really stood out to me during the FlyQuest Golden Guardian series was in game 4 when FlyQuest said, okay, we're not going to get in on this Elder Dragon, ran across mid, and then Rise-ulted 4 of them into the Baron Pit because they're like, oh, we have double Mountain, and they burned it before Golden Guardians could even make it to the minion wave in mid. Yeah. Like, it was just done at that point. It's like, holy shit! Like,
I wish
it was such a fast take.
What was it, like the Aurelia? The one person left out of the Rizal. Like, I wish they had made it in there. Like,
she was
this.
So cool. Did you rewatch it? Because she dashed to a minion and took one step and needed to take like one more to be in the realm warp, and it ended. And she's like, ah!
They defended it.
So then she sat in the river brush and like made sure to zone in case. But yeah, they never even got that close. Smart, Hey, Alan, thanks for joining. We're just finishing up talking about Golden Guardians FlyQuest, really. So if you have anything to say about that, either team or the series, go ahead and get it in. But yeah, I think overall, like FlyQuest, they just played cleaner. Like, it wasn't overall like a super clean game. Like, they weren't, what we've been seeing out of TL and Cloud9 most of the season. Mostly TL. TL's been one of the cleanest teams in the league minus 4 games.
And even then, like, what? 3 of those games were after they had a bye, so they're just like, fuck it,
Yeah,
like, pre-bye.
They had the one game where they're like, hey, we should play Yorick. I mean, they've had some other games where they didn't play that clean and then still squeaked out a win, like the Impact Jace game. So there's been a few.
I hate Jace.
Yeah. But yeah, the series was really fun to watch, especially game 4. Oh, Golden Guardians looked like they were too tired in game 5. You know what? I kind of agree with that. Golden Guardians, it seemed like they didn't have the mental stamina for the last one. But yeah, and we've been talking this whole time. We definitely think an issue was Froggen on the Aftershock Lissandra. I wonder, like, because everybody plays Aftershock Lissandra because it's like the best version of it right now. But I really wonder if Froggen was going on like a fucking full damage Lissandra, if that would be different. Like, if he could walk in and like burst combo somebody out rather than, I will CC everybody and survive until my team arrives. Like, if he could just fucking 1v1 burst somebody, which, like damage Lissandra can.
But it's really hard to land everything as Lissandra. It's
right.
not as easy as some champions.
It's hard to play a Nivea with Froggen.
That's true.
So. Like, I mean, obviously, the assumption is that if he was going to play damage 1, he'd be good at it. Mm-hmm. But I wonder if he was doing that and doing it well, if that makes the difference, or at that point, like, the team doesn't have enough, like, control to do anything. So, that'd be interesting, but...
It's really disappointing to be up at match point in game 3, and then you falter 2 games in a row. It's just like that's like the sweetest spot to be and be like, all I need is one more.
Yeah.
I've got 2 chances at it.
Yeah.
And you can't squeak one out.
At least it's not as bad as getting reverse swept.
Yeah.
What, like fun?
When you win the first 2 games.
And then you win the next 3.
Yeah, or vice versa, yeah. Okay. Reverse sweeping or reverse swept, yeah.
That's
when it's like, okay,
thank you.
2-0, and then the other team goes, oh yeah, we're gonna get a sweep now after letting you win the first 2 just to be nice, or whatever. Like, it happens, and if you're on the losing end of that, it's fucking painful, because it's like, alright, you have to win 1 of 3 games.
Yeah.
Like, it's like going into your promos after, like, you failed, so it's like,
so you have the
here's your
win.
free win. You have to win 1 game, and you're like,
sadly it happens.
So often.
It does.
So often.
So tilted just because you lost, and then you fuck up. Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. Who mentioned that Golden Guardians look tired? Was it you?
No, Alan.
Yeah. Well, FlyQuest, if you watch the post game after the 5, I believe they were. I think it might have been Pobelter and Santorin, or I think it was those two.
Yeah, they
I'm
did an
not sure.
interview with Santorin immediately, and then Pobelter a bit later.
And one of them mentioned that they were like, it was kind of grueling. It was tiring. We're not used to this.
Between Game 4 and 5, when they're doing like shots of the teams, Pobelter was laying down and had his eyes closed, and the camera got a shot of him like, I'm sure he was listening, but like half napping. Yeah. So then, like, Reddit was making jokes. It's like, Pobelter took a power nap and then made sure to put Golden Guardians to sleep because he was on the Zoe. Or his nap was so good, everybody else fell asleep too, and shit like that. Oh, man.
When he was, like, running around on the Zoe with his little, like, sprint or whatever? Well, yeah, he picks up a sprint and he's just like...
When he picks up when he uses a summoner spell, he gets it, or it's when he picks one up. It has to do with his Spell Thief passive. It's gross. He escaped with like 120 health so many fucking times because he's just like, I'm fast. Yeah. It's like you see this skinny little fucking 14-year-old bitch running away.
She's actually really old. She's as old as Aurelian Soul.
Oh man.
Yeah. She's what's the word? Something of aspect of Targon, but. Yeah.
I don't know that much about the lore, but cool.
Mount Targon's like
old.
And like basically Mount Olympus kind of thing.
She chooses to be a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just how far along in her development she is after this entirety. Maybe she'll get older eventually.
I want to say the lore has to do with like people who manage to like climb Mount Targon or do something that then like they're chosen to embody one of the spirits.
Isn't Bard like that too?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So like some super ancient spirit is like embodied in her, but like it was like originally like a little fucking 14-year-old girl or some bullshit.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Okay,
I'd have to look back into it. I haven't read
Sounds
lore.
dirty when you say it like
I
that. This 14-year-old girl climbed a mountain. Now spirits in her.
Either way, you see this little bitch who just like fucking chunks you for 80% of your fucking health by like just. And then she goes and runs away. And you're like, you dumb little cunt! Like you try to catch her and she just fucking runs.
That's why you have a Warwick. He can.
I don't know that he could catch her. She's so
bullshit.
Gross. By the time you got right next to her, she was just sleepy trouble puppy, and then fucking one shot your shit under a turret. Because I know you would have dove that turret.
Yeah, sure would have.
You would like be ulting, fall asleep midair, and she'd be like, ha ha.
Okay, what were we talking about?
Zoe's a bitch. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've covered that matchup pretty well. So let's move on to Sunday now. Right. We had TSM versus Echo Fox. Sunday. Yeah. TSM versus Echo Fox. This one only went 4 games. Predictions on that. You went 3-2 TSM. So off 1 game. I went ahead and I'm like, you know what? 3-0. Let's just say I'm like, TSM's so much better. I don't even know. As much as Echo Fox has been like on form recently, I don't know if they can carry that over. So I said 3-0. I was wrong too. Boom, 3-1. We all right on who would win. Mm-hmm. But you had the right match count.
I gave Fox a game because I definitely think after the display they had the last 2 weekends, they could probably beat TSM at least once. I did not think they would have it. Yeah, and if I was more surprised that it was the first game out of all of them.
And let's be honest, they stomped them in the first. Well, okay, they had the ability to have stomped them in the first game. It was repeatedly teams being like, "I'm gonna win this game," and then the other team made a mistake, and so it's like, "Oh, now I'm gonna win this game." Like the caster desk, or not the caster desk, the analyst desk mentioned it. There was a few mechanical mistakes out of Echo Fox that changed it to a close game. Because we had early on the double kill that happened up top. Solo slightly overchased because Rush was coming in from the jungle on Kindred. He was chasing his Aatrox. He didn't have ult and he knew this. And the Jarvan actually happens to be there. So the Jarvan and Jax for TSM get in this fight. And the bigger mistake, though, was Rush didn't pop his ult in time. So Solo dies. If Rush pops his ult...
Kindred ult, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Rush doesn't pop it in time. So Solo dies, then it gets popped, but then Rush is in a 1v2, so he needs to get the fuck out of there. TSM heals off of it, because, like, they're trailing him, and then they can turret dive him. Mm-hmm. So they end up giving up 2 kills, because it's just mechanical misplays there. And then later on, Rush actually was in River. He gets Jarvan ulted. And this was, like, around Drake. He gets Jarvan ulted. He puts down his ult. The Galio ult comes in. He doesn't want to get popped up by the Galio ult. So he does his little jump outside the Jarvan thing. Or he doesn't want to be popped up and still in the Jarvan thing, I guess. but he jumps outside the Jarvan thing, which just puts him outside of his own ult, and he dies. And it's just like, yo, why? Why Rush? Like, and those
And this is still the first game, right? Like, the one they won.
That was
so
all in the
minor
first game.
mistakes, and they still won that game.
And they lost that fight at Drake pretty handily because Rush died instantly. And they lost a 2-for-0 up top, which was first blood as well, because Rush played the ult too slow. Yeah. Like, I mean, granted, they might have still 2-0'd, but I bet you they would have gotten 1 kill off of it.
Maybe, yeah.
And like a 1-2 up top is different than a 0-2.
That ult needed to come down immediately.
Yeah, it was like real fast. So I think, like, and we saw like Solo play very well. I'm pretty happy because like I had been talking high on Solo the previous week when we were talking about like our 1-2-3s for all pro. I think Solo is a very good top laner, but Broken Blade played better. Mm-hmm. He really did.
I actually want to talk about that.
Yeah. Go ahead. Or do you want to wait till TSM, I guess, right? Yeah.
No, I'm going to wait till after this, and I want to talk about the all.
Oh, no, I have the actual ones that were announced, so we can
I don't know any of that, so that's cool.
Yep, cool.
I missed it, I guess.
Yeah, they announced the all-pro teams. We'll get rookie and coach next weekend, and then we get MVP finals weekend.
Okay, so there's still some stuff that isn't going to be decided.
Yes, we haven't gotten the individual award, like the top 3s yet. So coach and rookie of the split are announced during semifinals, and MVP's announced during finals. So, yeah, like, if we're talking specifically about Echo Fox, I think Rush didn't play as well as he had previously, and I don't think it's so much because Rush isn't doing very well. I think it's because Acadian outpaces him as a jungler. Yeah. And Rush was like the reason they went 4-0 to end the split. Mm-hmm. I feel like Rush was most of that. Like Phoenix has been playing very well too, but like bringing Rush back in, revived and like playing a fast tempo and getting ahead and like you played Jarvan all 4 of those games.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake on his part, but
well, they he played all 4 of those like last 4 games where they won all of them.
Gotcha.
In the series,
he played Jarvan 2-3 times at least.
I know the first game he didn't get it. He was on Kindred game 1.
And then
okay, yeah, and then he played Jarvan the next 3 actually and lost on it. You're right.
Yeah. And Acadian played Rek'Sai twice. What was the third one?
He played Rek'Sai twice, and then he played Rek'Sai all 3.
Okay. That's
so, cool. And you know what? Like, if you're TSM's coaching staff, like in which they've been good all season, what do you say? Well, he's been playing Jarvan. What is our best counter to Jarvan? And you formulate something, and apparently they decided it was Rek'Sai, and it worked
so well, like with specific like knockups, stuns.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, she can interrupt his flag and drag with the knockup. Yes. She can tunnel out of his ult if she's stuck in it, or tunnel in if she needs to save somebody.
It is a smart call.
Her ult also lets her chase in or out of that ult. Like, she offers quite a few things. Also, Jarvan likes to hover behind walls and wait for, like, his in with the flag and drag. And so unless he's standing perfectly still, she can see him, you know, like... There's quite a few... Or she can just, like, brush check with her Q underground. There's quite a few things. But yeah, I think Acadian mostly just like really forced tempo onto Rush in a way that their last 4 weeks they didn't see as much, or last 2 weeks, excuse me, and I think that was the difference. Personally, Phoenix played all right. I would never expect him to outplay Bjergsen overall, just because, as I kind of mentioned earlier, Bjergsen's so good at just making his entire team better. Like, he plays with the team so well, whereas Phoenix is still... He's going to hard carry you. Like, if he's having a good game, it's because he's just crushing everyone, and you come along for the fucking ride. And, you know, 2019, 2018 even, Bjergsen is... I crush the game by, like, getting everybody ahead. Like, we go into a team fight, and all of a sudden it's like, why is everyone still alive? I don't know. Bjergsen did a thing, and now they're dead, and we're alive. Like, they're not dead because he killed them. They're dead because he kept us alive and then we killed them. And it's like...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, we see it, like, in his picks.
Yeah. He played Zillion once.
Yeah, he played Zillion. He played Zillion in game 1. He played Lissandra, Aftershock Lissandra, twice after that, which, yeah, I want to see him on that. And then he finished up with Zoe. Mm. But his Zoe, I don't feel like hard carried the way Poe Belcher's Game 5 Zoe did by any means. Like, it was good, don't get me wrong, but yeah, like, and I think that's the real standout, like, that really puts through kind of the difference between Froggen and Bjergsen that I brought up earlier a little bit. Aftershock Lissandra on Froggen, and I guess it's not so much the players as the teams. Aftershock Lissandra on Froggen, he does his thing and there's no other damage really. Aftershock Bjergsen, you have a fucking Hecarim running in. You have a Cadian on Rek'Sai coming in. You know, you have Sven doing Sven things, whether it's Ezreal or, you know, Varus or whatever. Like, that team has other damage dealers. I expect top jungle, and sometimes jungle, but more often than not jungle, and bot lane in that team to bring damage in, and I think that's what they're most adept on. Whereas on Golden Guardians, it's like, jungle, I don't know if he's going to be alive at the moment or not, and then I count on mid and bot. So.
And I think TSM's bot lane is a couple skill levels over Apollo Hakuho.
I don't know if you guys notice, but Morgana was banned every fucking game. Which Hakuho is known for his Morgana, and we saw how good Morgana was in Game 5 of Golden Guardians and FlyQuest, and TSM was just like, nah, fuck
I'm
that.
not gonna deal with that, yeah.
And I think that was super smart on their part. Like, I mean, there were some other bands I saw that were really smart throughout both series, but that one stood out to me, because, like, as good as Hakuho is on a lot of things, like, if you give him the Morgana, he has the ability to save so many people from whatever Bjergsen's doing, kind of thing. Yeah, like, whether it's Zillion Bombs or Lissandra ult, and especially against Lissandra. Black Shield can fuck Lissandra. It puts you in a situation where you probably only want to ult yourself, just in case the support is really quick at going, I think he's going to ult this guy, and, like, Black Shield's the moment beforehand. Because then you ult, and it did some damage, but, you know, to an AoE and nothing else. Like, it's like, okay, that was a waste of most of her kit. Because you clawed to get in there, and like, oh, you're done now. Thanks for playing.
Lissandra ults and fights that were good by Bjergsen.
Yeah, so, I mean, if I'm going to talk specifically about Echo Fox, though, I mean, they're done for this season. Same thing we did with Golden Guardians here a little bit ago. They made a good run at the end of the season. I think they have a lot more improvement necessary. I think they much like Golden Guardians, need to find a little more consistency in the jungle. And I think Rush is building towards that.
Yeah.
He just needs to have more than two I mean, he only really played one super well at the end of split, but he needs to have like 2 or 3 so that teams can't specifically just go, okay, this is our counter for that.
Yeah.
You also can't really sub yourself out. Like I don't think that's a good look for you.
Did he sub himself out?
I thought he subbed himself out for one of those weeks.
Oh, I thought the team subbed him out for Panda. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I thought it was the coach.
I vaguely remember seeing either a Twitter by Rush or
okay.
I'm pretty sure it was on Twitter.
And you're not remembering back to Ole at MSI last year, right?
No, not Ole.
Because I didn't know that.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure, because then he said like today. Or yesterday, I guess. Today's loss is on me.
I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, taking responsibility for a loss or whatever. Like,
Rush is like,
it's a leadership thing.
Like, he's like, let me ult into 5 people and die in a millisecond, providing no actual damage or help for my team, and then they'll get slaughtered too, just because, you know, they're back there.
He's only got 91 total tweets, so I should be able to find it if it was on Twitter.
It would have to be within, like, the last, you know, month anyway, so.
Or he goes in and his team wins. It's one of the two. I think he's got to be the biggest change.
Yeah, I think I would like to see the team. It's funny because, like, I don't think anybody on the team's bad. I just don't think any of them are also, like, super high caliber either.
I'll agree with that.
I think the team needs to. Oh, it's really hard because I would like to see. You see, most teams have, like, their designated, like, this lane's a carry, this lane's a carry, this lane is utility, whatever, you know, kind of thing. I think Echo Fox is one of the few teams that could pull off where each lane knows how to carry and play utility, but I think they need to really, really specifically, like, decide their drafts beforehand what they want to go to and, like, practice for that week or something. Because, like, if they want to go, we're going to hard carry through solo rush and then, you know, bot lane or mid lane, cool, decide that ahead of time. And
that's hard to decide ahead of time.
I know, right?
It's
Well,
like-
because I feel like if they're good enough to do all those things, like these players are, they're well adept enough at these playstyles. Because I've seen them all do it. Like I've seen Solo just absorb pressure, but I've also seen him win his lane, and we see Rush sometimes crushes through the jungle, but sometimes he's just kind of in the background trying not to lose. We see Apollo and Hakuho, we saw them in week 9, they went off in the bot lane, but we've also seen them just kind of quietly hold the lane. In Phoenix, the same thing. They either need to kind of decide on an identity they want to do the whole time, or at least decide prior to that week. That way they're practicing only the comps they need for that week.
I think I'm making stuff up because I don't see.
Yeah, I think you're remembering Ole doing it back at MSI last year, possibly.
That's very possible.
Because I do remember that, he was just after their first 2 losses or 3 losses, he was just mentally not in it, and he benched himself, and they had to play. I think it might have been JJ or somebody It was not someone who was a good replacement, or Matt maybe. No,
Yeah,
Matt was on
explain
Golden
this
Guardians
later.
at the time, I think. But yeah.
You'll have to explain this later. I don't know
Twitter?
what this is. No. that too.
Well, my plan is to talk about this next because I have
Okay, cool.
a topic. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it up towards the end of the TSM discussion, and then I'm going to roll into this.
But yeah, I mean, I guess at the end, my thing I think Fox needs to focus on to improve in the next split is to really find their identity. Whether they're going to be shifting that from week to week, fine, because I think they're one of the few teams that could do that. But they need to focus on it and just decide, because it seems like when they go into these games that it's kind of spur of the moment of oh, what are we doing this time? Rather than, other than, hey, we're right now it's we're drafting J4 for Rush.
He needs more champions.
Yeah, and I think
He
that's
does.
the other big thing.
He could have probably brought out Kurtis and done a better job.
Let's not go that far.
I mean, maybe not Santorin job, but
Yeah.
he's won on Kurtis jungle.
Yeah. Well, that
At least
wasn't because of
once.
him, though. That was because of the
Fair.
team.
I will
So,
say
I don't know. I think they just need to make improvements
They
as a
did
team as a whole kind of thing.
they did kind of do this with their jerseys. Good job.
Oh, they did have playoff
Stylish.
jerseys. Them and Golden Guardians both rocked playoff jerseys, actually. So
I liked
rocking a playoff
Fox's.
jerseys means you lose in the quarterfinals, I guess.
Oh, they were so
Because
pretty
Golden
too.
Guardians were the same, but black instead of blue as the base color, and then Echo Fox had the
This
purple.
purple.
Was it a gradient or not? I think it was
Kind of a gradient.
Yeah, it had a bit of a gradient, and then it had the orange fox. So
Yeah.
and, they're
It
both
said
good looking.
Fox too, I think on it.
Did it? Okay,
Maybe.
yeah, they were both good.
Saw their shirts. I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
I don't recall looking
Wait,
at their...
Urgot didn't get played. Urgot didn't get played during TSM Echo Fox. It got played by contracts in Game 1 of Golden Guardians, though, didn't it?
Urgot, I think it was played once. Out of
It was
all
played
9
somewhere, I
games.
thought. Yeah. Contracts played Urgot in Game 1 and won on it. Because new Urgot, when you get to the ability to just run
those were the
Purge
jerseys?
24/7, is
Oh,
gross.
yeah, I saw those. I thought those looked pretty cool. I didn't realize they were jerseys. They just looked like t-shirts to me.
Yeah.
Whatever they are, I thought it was very
No,
stylish.
Yeah,
they
no, it was
definitely
jersey.
they're definitely jerseys.
I
But,
like them.
Oh,
Alan,
Echo Fox
the
is very... It's outlined up there.
Alan, the Urgot was played Game 1 by contracts in the first series of the weekend, and they won on it, and he did very well. That Purge on hit Urgot, I mean, he wasn't running a full on hit build, but the max rank Purge Urgot is gross, and his ability to clear the jungle is super good now. I think the thing people don't think about, and the reason he's being run in the jungle now, is the other change was his shotgun knees used to do reduced damage. At each subsequent shotgun that you hit somebody with did 10% less damage. So first one do the full thing, then 90, then 80, then 70. So by the time you hit them with 3 knees, oh, this does only 70% what it should. So it does less. They got rid of that. So all the knees always do the same amount of damage. 1, it's easier to follow how much damage is going to be done. But 2, it allows you to clear jungle camps. Because you just walk around the jungle camp as you shoot it, you clear all your knees off, and the thing's basically dead, and then by the time you walk to the next camp, your knees are back up.
Knees?
Urgot,
The shotgun knees.
the little, AoE burst he does,
Yeah.
it's his knees.
It's fucking funny.
His knees are little shotguns.
I didn't know it was from his knees. I
Yeah.
don't really pay attention to that close to what he's shooting.
I
but-
mean, he's like a fucking crab, so you don't
Yeah.
think of him as being knees, but it's the
Yeah.
joints on his legs. So it's his knee. He has shotgun knees.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we calling it knees?
Yeah. 'Cause he's from the Knights who say knee.
Knee. I haven't
Alright.
seen that forever.
Anybody else have thoughts
Go
on
ahead.
Echo Fox heading into next split other than their jerseys?
Wait, what do you want me to
Guys,
It has to
hey,
be.
you too.
Sorry, I had
Echo
my
Fox,
name.
no.
I had to care.
You have any thoughts? So you have no thoughts on Echo Fox?
Not really.
No.
I think
Okay.
Rush needs a bigger.
I mean, yeah,
fold
you
champion,
talked a little
that's
bit
it.
already,
That's
so
it.
I was just seeing if this guy wanted to get in rather than looking at Twitter.
He's looking at jerseys.
I know he is.
No, not about Echo Fox. My
right.
conversation is around TSM.
So let's move on to TSM in the series then. Thought you have stuff to say about TSM. Let's do it.
But it's not till the end of this discussion.
Oh, is it heading into their next series?
No, it's improvements. The improvement section is where I've got.
Oh, well, they didn't lose, so we weren't even going to do improvement section.
Oh.
But,
What do you think they can improve on?
You can talk about it because they'll need to improve, I guess, if they want to, but go ahead.
Well,
I mean, this is more, where did you see them falter in this
this-
series then? How about that? Same thing.
yeah. Well, so my conversation topic flows into the next topic, so I can't start off
You don't
with
even
it.
know what the next topic is.
I have the next topic. Okay.
Just
They have topics.
Go
I
ahead
have
and talk
shit.
about what you want to
I
talk
just
about.
respond.
Let's go ahead.
Well, I can't talk about it without going into the next topic too, because
What is the next topic?
the next
supposedly?
topic is the All-Pro teams.
Oh, that's not even the next topic.
Well, what is the next topic?
The next topic is the games going on next week.
Like, okay. Well then I have nothing to say about TSM. They did
Oh.
pleasant.
They did pleasant. You have nothing to say about how they played against Echo Fox at all.
Echo Fox didn't do very well, so it's not like
Yeah,
they
but we-
showed
we've
up and
seen
smacked their face against the keyboard and they won.
We've seen... Well, okay, first of all, TSM lost game 1.
Yeah, that was them seeing how little they could try. Can we-
You and your tinfoil
They came in with a
hats.
2, lost, and turned it up to a 4. So like to win.
I mean, to be fair, I mean that's what I would have done if I were them. Be like, should we fuck around with them, give them one win, and just let them get a little bit of confidence, and then we just steamroll them afterwards? Because that's kind of what happened.
Kinda. Okay,
No,
did a much
they so
better
did not
job.
fuck around with him. They got beaten game 1.
No, I'm talking about like game 2 through 4.
Oh, game 2 and 3, 4, yeah. They absolutely were the better team on the map.
Sorry.
No, yeah, I was saying like we can fuck around with them game 1, give them a little bit of a confidence boost, and then just take that confidence and shit down their throats with it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I think, I mean, obviously, I think Acadian, and Alan Green in the chat, like, Acadian, and TSM as a whole is obviously doing this as well, but, and I've been saying it for most of the season, like, 1, I wanted to see this happen, and 2, that, eventually I'm like, hey, we've been seeing this happen, is that Acadian is being aggressive in the jungle, TSM does something other than sit around their fucking hands until 25 minutes, like, they do shit early.
I actually kind of wanted, like,
Ugh.
Acadian is my topic.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I think that Acadia needs to go.
What?
It's a startled gasp.
It's just, like,
He's
it's...
so much fun to watch, though.
That might be. It's
Chase is
just...
mad because he's prettier.
a
I
lot
don't
of
even
people
know what
are
Acadian
prettier
looks like right now.
He's pretty.
Pull him up.
I'll pull him up while Chase talks.
All right.
Well,
Chase,
no,
go ahead and
so
talk.
my only thought is like, okay, so our all-pro teams came out. Top 3 teams they fill out the entire 3 rosters with the exception of 1 player.
It's Acadian?
Acadian's the only one
Right.
that didn't make it.
Well, who's the
Same.
jungle?
Santorin made it, and some people would argue Santorin's probably the best jungler in the league right now.
I think
Santorin,
Santorin's
yeah.
good. Like I was just saying, like I think Acadian's probably their weakest link.
I bet Acadian's number 4 slot, and I don't know he's the weakest link, but when
agree.
everybody else is a top 3 is being number
Yes.
4 so fucking bad.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Like, so who are you going to replace him with? Santorin? No, they're not going to give him away. Smithy? No, they're not going to give him away. Svenskeren? No, they're not going to give... So who are you going to fucking replace him with?
Import.
They
Rush.
can't. They don't have space for it.
God damn
They
it.
have
I
an
think
import and
Acadian's,
top
like,
and
a really
support.
good jungler.
Or, I'm sorry, AD
Deserves to
carry.
stay.
Oh,
I think he
shit.
is their weakest link, though. I agree with this. But that's only because you got 4 other All-Stars on your team, and Acadian is trying to join them, in my opinion, throughout this entire split. I've never seen him before. I don't know who he is. I said in the first couple weeks, I like watching Broken Blade. Yeah, he's a pretty boy. He's like a fucking
okay.
Lannister or some shit over there.
I've seen prettier. I think Bjergsen's prettier.
No.
Jackson, all right. With the short beard, not when it's like full grown.
He had
Like,
his
almost.
beard
so-
trimmed this. Like I'm not trying to sit here and
I-
like shit on Acadian. I just think that like if TSM wants to get better, like I don't think Acadian's ever gonna be the person to fill those shoes.
I think
I
Acadian
think
makes
he
them
can.
as good as they are right now. Like, I don't know that...
I think their coaching staff letting their junglers not be fucking neutered. Like,
I agree.
If they would have
is huge.
If they would have been able to play with their junglers how Acadian's getting to play now, fucking look how good they would have been last year.
Right. Well, and I was making that point last year. I'm like, hey,
I know they were.
When they say, hey, let's put Grig on Gragas, they fucking blew shit up. But then they're like, hey, go back on Sejuani and just like piss down your leg. But we've also seen Acadian play well on Sejuani. But yes, I think coaching staff like Zix, and it's funny, as much as I still am not a fan of Reginald, in the interview post that, it was post all of it, he was saying about Tony, bring Tony on. Tony is Zix. Mm-hmm. He was saying, oh yeah, as we brought Tony on, and like that, the staff and Tony said, oh, we need to be more aggressive early. It's like, yeah, you're fucking right, you do. And like, so that's been a big impetus behind that. But I completely agree that like, Acadian's the weak point there. Like, because how many aggressive early junglers do we see in LCS, even if we're just going to keep it in this fucking region?
Only like 3.
And I guess, we could even say more specifically, like, how many good aggressive early junglers do we see? We see, like, Santorin. Yeah. We see Acadian. Yeah. Svenskeren is at times, but not always. Contracts, but he's not consistent. Rush, but he's also not consistent.
He's wildly inconsistent.
Yeah. Blabber, also wildly inconsistent. Who else? I've got 2 right now. Santorin and Acadian. Do you have a third aggressive early jungler who's good?
No, but I also think that, like, top 4 are the best in the region. Like, I think our junglers in US are pretty...
Oh, top 4 are best in the region. Well, guess what? If we went and looked at the points, I bet you he's number 4.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I bet there's a...
So what, you're wanting to, like, get rid of him? Like...
How far out are the other people on TSM from getting there?
Forever.
Oh, really?
Sven was new last year, and Broken Blade's new now.
Oh, so Sven's got till the end of next split? Or
no, longer. It changed it recently.
Oh, shit,
It's like 4 or 5 years now or some bullshit.
Okay, never mind then. Okay.
Yeah, no, like... 3 TSM and even then, like, how many times have we seen some foreign jungler get brought in and be balls? Lyra? Like, Lyra was good 1 year. We're seeing Gorilla not do well in EU, and Gorilla's a fucking top-tier Korean. Like... He was the jungler just like a year and a half ago.
Who's the Cloud9 Academy jungler?
Blabber.
Fucking A, never
aggressive but inconsistent.
Yeah, okay, so he's not really worth it.
And he wouldn't go anyway. Like, they would never let him go.
No, you're probably right. There's no thing to do there unless they find somebody that's secretly amazing in US.
Right, and I get where you're coming from, like, saying he's the weak link, but, like, when you're saying... honestly, I'd probably say, like, Sven's probably... the most easily replaceable on the team. Like, I think Smoothie's fucking amazing. I think Smoothie's top tier and his shot calling is great. I think Bjergsen brings more to a team than almost any other mid lane in the league. Like, he does kind of what Faker does in Korea, where he's just never dying and always in a position to help the team. Like, Faker can smash the mid lane. Bjergsen can too. But do they usually do that? No, they're usually just going, oh, I'm just going to make my team awesome. And, like, that's why they're amazing. Broken Blade in the top, I'm not completely sold on him yet. It's way too early. We've seen way too many people be flash in the pans. You know? Now, somebody who could have also been aggressive had TSM not broken him, Mike Young. But they killed him.
Yeah, what does he do now? Is he
he's not dead. I don't know who he's with now.
He's probably panhandling on the corners in Santa Monica.
But like he was
more money.
He was their starting jungler first split last year, and then they like Sejuani'd his ass to death. Yeah. And then second split, he's like, hey, I want to be on Academy, and like, because like mentally he was fucking broken. He went from being rookie of the fucking split on Phoenix 1 and like crushing EU at Rift Rival. Like, they're going to Rift Rivals and everybody's like, oh, NA is so garbage, blah, blah. And then, like, NA won all of it, and especially Mike Young. Mike Young lit bitches up so hard. Like, that is actually what shifted EU to playing a faster meta than they... Because they were playing, like, super late game, and they got crushed at Rift Rivals, and it took them, like, a year or so. But, like, that's why they were playing a faster meta than NA come this Worlds, in my opinion. Was getting crushed at Rift Rivals going, oh, well, if NA's bad and they shit on us, that's obviously just a better way to play the game.
Yeah.
And, obviously it just takes time to get better at that version of the game. Oh, you're right. Gorilla plays support, not jungle. There's a Korean jungler, I believe, went to EU and sucks ass right now. I can't remember who, though. Thank you for that correction. But yeah, I'd say, like, while I think Smoothie's great, but I'm not completely sold on Broken Blade. We'll see. And Sven, I mean, he's really, really consistent, but I only see him as, like, a better Deftly. And, like, Deftly's good, don't get me wrong, but Deftly's not double lift. I don't think he's sneaky either. You know, like, if you're talking about 80 carries in NA, it's like, oh yeah, it's sneaky and double lift. You know, and then, like, other ones are good and have flashes. Like, Wild Turtle has so many flashes, but he has bad flashes, too. Like, if he were more consistent, I would take Wild Turtle as third, period. You know, so to be like, oh yeah, Cadian, when it's like, well, yeah, who else do you replace him with, though? It's like, well, one person maybe. Like, I don't think there's anywhere else to go with that.
Well, I didn't realize that they were capped out. I forgot that because it used to be 2 years.
Even if you're just saying import people, that's such a fucking risky move.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when most junglers aren't super aggressive, actually. Like, internationally, period. Like, you'd have to maybe get, like, a Chinese jungler? I don't even know. Because they play aggressive from the bot lane, though.
I figured it out. We grabbed Dardoch. Boom.
There you go. Dardoch, but he's also kind of inconsistent, and he's pretty toxic still, apparently.
I would take Acadian over that.
Well, I mean...
Acadian's had a better showing than Dardoch has this year, but that's just because Acadian's gotten play.
Also, Meteos is aggressive early, too. So I guess that there are 2 more early aggressive junglers I would put up there. So it's Sven Skaren, Meteos, Acadian, Dardoch. Like, those 4... Or was it no, Santorin, you're right. Santorin was the one I said, because Sven Skaren's not always aggressive.
Yeah.
So those 4 are aggressive early junglers. And I think Santorin and Meteos are more in the same boat where they're mostly aggressive, whereas like Acadian and Dardoch are almost always aggressive early. But
I feel like Dardoch's like me. He really shines when he's being carried.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt.
I shine when I'm carried.
But yeah, I don't know. I think on a team that has super Danish people, I guess, Bjergsen and Sven both. Somebody, if they're being an asshole, they're going to get, like, shouted down and out of the team so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I think in the culture that is TSM, like, if you're a dick, Reggie's going to walk into that room and be like, I'm the biggest dick here, and let me show you. Like, cause,
gone.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's always owned that team even when he was on it, and he's been the reason other players have left at times, because he was just, like, a big asshole about shit. And, like, granted, he's older now. He's not in the middle of it as much because he's not a player, so that changes things. But I have a feeling he doesn't have any time for that kind of shit because we haven't seen any, like, huge personalities on that team in a long time.
Yeah, I think Meteos or Dardoch would be a good addition, but, like, I mean, because Dardoch did really well when you had Huni and Demonte, like, with him. Like, I mean, if he's got good players around him, he does well. So when he's got mediocre players around him, he does mediocre. Right.
So to talk less about trying to improve TSM, you know, you're saying you think Acadian's the weakest of them. Do you think that somehow showed up in this series where Acadian at any point didn't look like he was...
No, they looked very good
so,
against Echo Fox.
So you're just like talking in the meta of your head. Like,
yeah. Like, it was more for conversation rather than like, no, like Acadian didn't do poorly.
And we got a good conversation out of it.
No, Acadian didn't do poorly this week. And like, I don't have anything bad to say about his performance.
Yeah.
Just like, if we were going to talk about how we could make them better next year, that's my only, like...
Well, if they lose next week to C9, we'll definitely will.
Okay, well, I'll table that conversation for a week, and then I'll bring it right back up.
If Acadian
Remember that time I said Acadian sucked? Because I hope they lose next week.
It'll be so funny if Acadian's the only one who does well.
Oh, no, I hope not.
Like, if Broken Blade shits the bet. Well, we'll get there. But, like, no, I think TSM looked really good this week. I think their drafts were good. Yeah. It seemed... I feel like they had an easy time drafting, though, honestly. I think Echo Fox just didn't have other places to go in the jungle. And if you're able to just go, well, we have a counter for your jungle, which has been a really big driving force of your wins. We take half the fucking gas out of this car, and good luck. Like, yeah.
That was mostly what
I feel like that's what happened here.
Just
like,
a better jungle game.
Yeah, I feel TSM was better overall as well, like lane to lane. But I do feel like when you just go, oh, your jungler doesn't matter anymore, like, okay, well, good luck.
We're going to talk about, like, we've talked about him primarily, mostly, for reasons. But from the early split to this point now, making those mistakes that I saw Acadian make, even though they were big, but few, like leaving the rift or not pushing in the base when he had a chance to to at least base race enough to
yeah, 2 games back in the regular season.
In this series, he did defend an Herald at one point, like where the team killed it, but they picked off the members and it just sat there until it disappeared. So he did that, which was awesome.
He made them suffer his pain.
Yeah. But I think he has improved, and when you gave him like the MVP of the jungle, I didn't really agree with it because there's other jungles that are consistent, but he has slowly become consistent.
Yeah. I mean, I said at the time, I'm sure no one else will say this. I'm sure none of the voters even put him first, but I put him first because not necessarily because I think he's just straight up the best jungler, and so it probably made more sense to put him lower. But that would have been harder to make him my MVP. I just feel like he makes the most difference to his team, just because. And I do think, like you said, like Alan said, that it compounds that Zix and the coaching staff under Zix is making the decision to not neuter their jungler. We've seen TSM do it for so fucking long, and it's been so. As much as I'm not a TSM fan, it's been frustrating. As somebody sitting on the outside to go. We all know what your fucking problem is. You're the only ones who don't. Can you fucking fix it just so I'm not frustrated watching it anymore? And it's good to see him do it. It's funny because as players have changed on this team and time has gone on, I've my feelings towards TSM have totally mellowed. And then after seeing them suffer so hard last year, got bounced from the quarters twice. Missing finals for the first time and second time ever, and then missing worlds for the first time ever, and also seeing Cloud9 be the team who bounced them from quarters or no, not quarters, I guess. Maybe they made it to semis second split, but bounced them from the gauntlet and from worlds and stuff. I feel like the hate in me has been satiated, mostly not because of TSM as a team, but because. A friend of mine who is a TSM fan and likes to talk shit, now because of last split, he's decidedly can't talk shit anymore.
Okay, so
I'm happy to see them do what they had this split, basically.
Forgot that spring split last year when Fox was doing really well.
Yep.
TSM was floundering.
Oh yeah, TSM was bad all last year. Middling bad.
They ended up third for summer split, but they ended up tied 5th, 6th for spring
That's
split.
not even bad.
Oh, that's right. They beat 100 Thieves, but 100 Thieves was running Rikara.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't even count that game. I think if Cody's son was... I think I said at the time, if Cody's son was playing, I think 100 Thieves wins that, but...
Speaking of...
It wouldn't have changed anything. They were getting second no matter what.
Well, I was just trying to figure out, because they ended up third spring split last year, and they ended up third spring split, or I'm sorry, they ended up third summer split last year, and they're third now spring split this year. They're making
they ended third after playoffs.
Yes,
they were lower than that previous.
They
were
5th. Yeah.
Yeah, they were at least. Well, I guess they could have been third, but I think they were.
No, they were definitely 5th. I'm looking.
Okay, you're looking at
Yeah, I pull up the notes from.
Yeah, because they were just. That's right. They almost didn't make playoffs. If Optic had beat them on the last day of the season, they were gonna beat them out, I believe, or they would have gotten a playoff against them, something like that. Because I think was Optic behind them one game in the final standings.
Optic. Where are you?
Yeah. So had Optic beaten TSM on the final game of the split, they would have had a tiebreaker to see who made playoffs. Okay. TSM was, they were Echo Fox levels of making playoffs in 5th place. Whereas okay, good luck.
I've liked the Broken Blade Acadian duo since the early of the split, and I'm happy that they started doing so well. Yeah. And you said the coaching staff made the changes to let the jungler kind of be aggressive. So you have to kind of commend the coaching staff. And then when you mention 100 Thieves, take that as a hint. 100 Thieves, just bench moo. Make that change.
We'll
see what happens.
It'll be a month and a half, but I'm really interested to see what 100 Thieves bring out in week 1 of summer. Because if they bring out the team we saw, even if it's just someday Onda, Saligo, Bang, and Afro, then they've already failed their mission. I feel like.
I think what they should do, if they haven't already, is just fucking send them to Korea, boot camp them for like a month before summer split
that's a good
starts.
idea. Like, because that makes
see
people
if,
shape up real quick.
Because, I mean, only one team from each region's gone. I wonder if even if it's like fucking middle of the road teams in Korea, like if they're willing to boot camp with, or play some scrims with the worst team in NA, maybe. I mean, like they have, Bang to go like, guys,
You mean the entire
please.
team?
Yeah, send everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking,
No.
like,
Send the
sit
team
him over there.
Well, I mean, send the players to all solo queue, which obviously they can do, and then if they can get some scrims with some of the Korean teams, like, yeah, no, I think that's smart. I don't think this same roster will learn anything though. Mostly, I think Afro, like, unless something snaps his shit back to reality, and maybe finishing last did.
Maybe that's a good possibility.
But
we
don't. Oh my god, we're like a fucking Riot with. They always bring up TSM. We always bring up under these.
Terrible.
Yeah.
They are like the best thing that's happened this whole split for me. I love it so much.
All right, so let's move on to
next week,
the semifinals.
Yeah.
So the first game we're going to see, Team Liquid did not pick TSM despite Steve tweeting out that he would. I mean,
I wouldn't. Fuck that.
Seems like a
pussy
poor life
move to
choice.
back out, but smart choice to pick FlyQuest.
To win.
Like I'm sure he was just like, doing it for the banter, but like, come on, man. Like, don't even put it out there because now everybody can just call your shit. Mm-hmm. So, first game though is going to be Cloud9 versus TSM.
That'll be very interesting.
What's your thoughts? And we'll put down our early predictions on it as well.
Initial thoughts: 3-2 in Cloud9's favor.
I agree. 3-2.
Why?
Cloud9's the better team.
You're like just gut feeling.
Yeah, like I think it'll be a long series.
I don't know. Like I've already told you what my thoughts on TSM are. I don't want to elaborate too much farther.
But I mean, like, obviously, because the 3-2 has to do with not just TSM won. I think Acade's their weak link. Like it has to do with Cloud9 as well. Like how do these teams mesh up that you see a 3-2 happening?
Well, I mean, in reality, I see like maybe closer to like a 3-1 happening, and I'm trying to give TSM a little bit of a benefit of the doubt.
What the fuck's going on here?
Because C9, I think C9 is the better team. I think that if TSM had gone up against TL, they might actually play better. But since they're going up against C9, maybe they choke because it's just different. They haven't won as many games against C9. If
they haven't
at
won
all.
any.
Yeah, if at all. So that's
tough.
in
Teams
their
are rock
mind.
paper scissors.
Yes. So. Instead of it being TL, I think they're going to have a little bit harder chance, and I think C9 has it 3-1 or 3-2. I want to say 3-2 just so I can watch more games.
Having lost both matchups against Cloud9, like it makes me think that TSM isn't going to be able to figure it out in a game of 5.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm going to go into my thoughts of why Cloud9 seems like a good matchup into TSM, like why they won those other two. Do you have your thoughts on that before I go in and give mine?
It's all you.
You're like, they won because they won. So, I think TSM, and we saw this when they were playing against Echo Fox, like, while they do have some early aggression, their style is mostly we play a very, like, as much as Reggie in his interview is like, yeah, we need to do more stuff early and whatnot. If you go back and look at those games, they did some things early, but they're just much better at playing a very... very clean game, and then when you fuck up, they hurt you for it. Now, the reason I think they beat TL is because they do show some early aggression, and they also punish you for mistakes earlier than TL does. I think those two teams are very, very fucking similar. TL plays the cleanest game in the league, but they don't punish you until about 20-25 minutes. Somewhere in that range. If you fuck up, it's over, and like that's the last time you ever saw the lead. Like, and we've seen them do that so many fucking times. Like, probably 5-6 games you can go grab where it's like, okay, TL's down about 5,000 gold. Oh, man, that guy's a little too far for... Oh, my God! And TL's up 3,000 gold, and, like, 10 minutes later, they win. Like, it's like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like, a team fight happens. They go, like, 4-for-1 on you, take a Drake and, like, 3 turrets, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, we see TL do that over and over. We see TSM do that to a lesser extent, but that's also because they do it to you at, like, 15 minutes. Because you can't get as much, you're not scaled up as much. So,
even when they lost that first game, that's exactly what they did with that gank top and then the
there's the fight at the Drake, where, like, you make a misstep, they punish you for it, and they take what they can objectives. Which is, when you're talking about League of Legends from the best risk assessment standpoint. That is the best way to play the game. That's how Korea won forever. Like, it was just like, okay, we're going to play the tightest fucking game you've ever seen. Oh, you made a mistake. We immediately punish it. We get an objective, and we do it again and again. And they would do it, like, on a small scale, like, 18 times until you were bled out. And, like, honestly, after the first 5, the game was over. And they're really good about, like, forcing those mistakes, too. Now, TSM, they don't do that. They just wait for you to make a mistake because it's still NA. And you're going to. I think the difference, though, and that's why TL doesn't want to face them, like, oh, we play the same style, but they do it earlier and a little bit, like, because they're more aggressive. Cloud9, like, while they do play a pretty clean game, they're not as clean as those two, because they're really aggressive. Like, Cloud9 tries to cause the mistake to happen by jumping down your throat at some point between 5 and, like, 13 minutes. Like, prior to plates dropping, Cloud9 always initiates some sort of activity that involves at least 3 or 4 of their members somewhere on the map. It doesn't fucking matter where it is, if there's TPs coming in, if they've all roamed up to Rift Herald, it doesn't fucking matter. Cloud9 will meet you somewhere and go, let's brawl. Mm-hmm. And they're so good at fighting at those lower levels with lower items and all that, and getting, like, small leads in lanes so they have this, like, tiny advantage, that's where it takes advantage of players. And I don't think TSM has been up to that task. Like, that's why they lost the other 2 times, I feel like. My question is now, though, TSM's been so good. They lost 1 game in the last 5 weeks. And then they lost, I'm sorry, if we include this, 6 weeks, mm-hmm. They've lost 2 games. And they, instead of playing 2 games this week, they played 4, you know? Like, they're so good at that I'm curious if they've improved, and with this extra week to prepare just for Cloud9, if they'll play conservatively enough to not jump into that fight and be able to, you know, wait until Cloud9 doesn't get that early lead or, like, force them into shit.
That's what's going to be fun to watch. Basically.
Right, and I think that's the way for TSM to win. I don't think they outdo Cloud9 at Cloud9's game. I think they have to find a way to lull Cloud9 into their game.
Or play for a longer game. Much longer game. Like, basically CLG it out, tank it out.
Oh, God.
Like,
I don't know if they have to go that far. But.
I can't see Broken Blade on Jackson winning. I really can't. Not against Licorice. See, if it was Broken Blade against Impact, maybe. If it's Broken Blade against Licorice, no. If it's Acadian versus Svenskaren, I don't think so. Acadian versus Xmizzy, maybe. It's Bjergsen versus Niski, tough. Bjergsen versus Jensen, tough. It's kind of similar in those lanes. Because I really like Niski. I think he's a great player. Mm-hmm. And then it's down to the bottom lanes after that. And what is it? Zvin and Smoothie versus Sneaky and Zazel. I think that's the better bottom lanes on C9 side and maybe TL side. But
yeah. So, and Alan has a good point here. The last matchup we saw against Cloud9 and TSM was ahead. Bjergsen took the step too far forward in mid on that Zoe, and that was the game. That was the end of it immediately there. So, I mean, like, Cloud9 has that ability, obviously, to punish your mistakes. Usually they force you into mistakes. Mm-hmm. And since we saw TSM do it the last time, although I think Cloud9 tried to, like, force a mistake and made a misstep themselves early in that game, absolutely. That game went fully Cloud9's favor because Zazel did, like, the Justice Punch into fucking... Chomps.
Oh, Chompers, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was that game, right? Or was that a different game?
I'm pretty sure they lost that game.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no, that's right. They did lose that game, so that was a different game. You're right. Yeah. So never mind. But, like, I mean, that's what happens sometimes where, like, Cloud9 tries to force a fight, and, like, they make a mistake, and that's why they fall behind. So I think that's going to decide this series all the way through. I want to say 3-1, 3-2 Cloud9, just because I think their early aggression and the week off will have allowed them a lot of preparation. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I was Cloud9, my assumption is I was getting whoever won TSM, Echo Fox, and my assumption was TSM's going to win this. So I put 80% of my time into prepping TSM stuff. Like, you know, for their coaching staff who's doing that kind of prep. 80% of my time was TSM. 20% was Echo Fox. Because my thought is, if Echo Fox wins, 100% of my time for 1 week is good enough.
Yeah. I can pull names out of a hat and we'll be good enough.
Yeah, like, I at that point, I'm like, I think we can find a counter for Rush from Sven, and I don't think, as good as Licorice, or Solo is at absorbing pressure, I don't think he can stand up to Licorice, you know? Like, I think that's just fine. So,
You've been quiet.
I'm gonna go 3-2. Yeah, well, I went off on a whole thing. So.
I already said that I think that Cloud9's going to win 3-1, 3-2. I'm leaning into 3-1.
I think TSM could, though. I mean, like, it's
Oh,
possible. That's why I want to go 3-2, just I'm only one off.
Like, my heart is what's making me go 3-2 Cloud9, but I totally get, like, what we've been seeing the analyst desk say, and I'm sure it's been on Reddit, I've been reading that stuff, that heading into these playoffs, TSM was the favorite in some ways. In a lot of ways. Because, I mean, fuck.
I keep hearing that, too. I didn't know that, but...
TSM's not bad by any means. Like, TSM's a good team, and I think they really could give Cloud9 a run for their money. Yeah. And they very well may.
Yeah, but... I mean, when you go 9-1 or whatever the fuck it is, it's kind of hard not to give you that credit.
So, if TSM wins, like, straight up beats Cloud9, goes on to Team Liquid, because...
I think if they beat Cloud9, they're the favorite in the final, absolutely.
And, well then, like, and if Acadian plays well enough to say that he didn't be a detriment to his team, will you accept him as a member of TSM and that he is a good jungler and he deserves to be there?
It's not that he doesn't deserve to be there. I just think that of the all-stars on his team, he is the worst.
Which is not saying, like, worst.
But I mean, if you're the worst of, like, top 1-2 people of every team combined, like... I mean, that's not really.
If you're number 4 out of 10, and there's a pretty big gap after 4, like, well, decent gap. I think Meteos is probably a decent 5.
If he keeps playing like he has this past weekend, and overall, I think he deserves to be there, like in that top 3. Yeah. It's a shame that he's not in this All Stars thing. I don't know what the fuck this is, but I like Santorum too. So I'm
I think that the only thing that they could change is Acadian. But since there's no viable options and they can't import, it doesn't matter.
And they could change Sven or possibly Broken Blade. I need to see more before I make a decision on Broken Blade. That's always my thing. I hate to try and jump to like snap decisions because we've seen players who were like bad at first and then got really good, and we've seen players who were really good right away and then got really bad.
Well, and the hard part is that none of them are actually playing poorly. Like, they're all playing well.
Yeah.
So it's
you have to be
like, at this point I'm splitting hairs. It's like, like, I mean, and that
You're
was
saying
the point.
it just to like stir up a conversation.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the only, like, I mean, no, I'm not saying Acadian's bad by any means. Like, it's just like, if they were to make a change to try to...
Yeah, I love that you came up with that, but when I was like, what should Golden Guardians change? You're like, nothing! And I'm like, bitch, that's not the question!
Nothing or all of them.
You're like, you're willing to say they should get rid of Acadian, but you weren't willing to make any changes to Golden Guardians to be better.
Well, I mean, I think we could swap out...
Like the whole roster or nothing is what you said.
Yeah, basically.
The hat is like sinking into your head.
Yeah, I know. But they're so good at being mediocre. I like it.
I would love to see...
No, now they're good at being mediocre. Like, okay, so if apparently GG's was 10-10, and now they're like...
Okay, they were so good at being... They were my underdog team.
Alright, so we've all talked about Cloud9 TSM. Let's move on to the other semifinal. We have Team Liquid, number 1 team going in. They lost 3 games to end the split. Granted, they had already locked in first place at that point. Mm-hmm. And they are facing FlyQuest, who they chose.
Yeah, well,
rightfully so.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, whereas Cloud9, like, they didn't choose TSM. TL, they chose FlyQuest. You, as a team, did that because you have more confidence in this matchup. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you guys think about this matchup?
I think it's just obviously the easier matchup. It's not even that it's like they would have been dumb to pick TSM. Yeah. Like, TSM is like, you're much more likely to potentially fail.
Eyeball stuff.
Whereas, like, FlyQuest, we know what FlyQuest is capable of, and it is not going the distance against Team Liquid.
I agree. And the biggest thing is JJ's skill level versus the empowered JJ, which is core JJ.
In the empowered JJ.
I mean, that's a huge difference. I do not think JJ is that good of a support. In the earlier split, he made a lot of mistakes.
Now, I would like to point out, you say that we know what
FlyQuest is capable of.
Are you going to bring
up that Team Liquid just got beat by FlyQuest? I get it, but that was after they were already locked into a bye. Like, say what you will, but I'm pretty sure that they were like, we can take it easy. We've got this.
Right, and they might have been, but that still means that team, somewhere in them, does have the ability to beat that other team. Because I don't give a shit how much TL coasted. I don't think 100 Thieves ever wins a game against them.
You mean Yeah,
Right.
okay, you mean 100 Thieves.
Right, yeah, because, I said 100 Thieves?
You said 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Because what, FlyQuest beat them, TSM beat them, and who else was the other win against them in the last
Fox.
3? Fox. That's right, because Fox was the Kingslayers. So, like, I'm sorry, but no matter how much they fucking coast, I don't think Afromu was gonna fucking outdo Smoothie in the bot lane enough to, like, make anything matter kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's like a 10th place team versus a 4th
Right.
place
Okay,
team.
well, I also don't think no matter how hard they coasted, CLG wins. Well, at the end of the season. They beat Cloud9 earlier in the season.
And again, that's a 7-8 versus a 1 team. Like,
right.
I'm not saying that
But as we get closer and closer here, because Fly was a 4. Okay, so...
It's 4.
So do I say Optic? Maybe Optic pulls a game off.
I mean...
But I think FlyQuest also, when they beat Team Liquid, didn't they crush them?
We saw Fox pull a game too, so...
Right. Didn't we see FlyQuest crush them when they beat them? I could be
I
misremembering.
don't
Maybe that was
remember.
Echo Fox.
Maybe
One
I
of those
tuned
teams
out.
crushed them, though.
It's probably
It very well
Fox.
could have been. I don't
It could've been
recall
one or the other, but
specifically.
Fox was playing.
I don't know.
really
I
well,
guess so. My thing is, I'm right there with Alan. I don't think TL can underestimate FlyQuest.
Yeah.
Like if they
I think
if
that
they
they're gonna
coast
have to
at
actually
all, they're in
play.
a fucking issue.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they actually show up and play those days, like it just doesn't matter. Like they beat FlyQuest every day of the week.
Ooh, every day. So you got 3-0 then, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
Kool-Aid Man
This
style.
is hard.
Oh yeah.
no.
It is hard.
Like unless Team Liquid is still in coasting mode, which they very well may be, like I don't even see FlyQuest taking a game. They only took that game because FlyQuest wasn't there. They're like, we're in vacation mode in our heads because
You're so making an assumption.
I am. I mean, I don't know. Like I mean that's what makes sense to me.
I'll give them one game.
Yeah. I think so. Interesting thing to me.
Peter's just
Is
gonna
that-
walk in and be like, "Hey guys, what's up? Who's going down? Not us." And then boom, they win all 3 games.
Interesting thing
They
to me was
concede
heading into this
15.
discussion, or heading into today, I hadn't thought about this, but then we had the discussion earlier about Acadian. And we talked about early proactive junglers. And we brought up Santorin.
Mm-hmm.
And
That'll be a
Santorin,
very
and
good
we saw
matchup
that in
against
Golden
Xfinity.
Guardians was very proactive. And then just a moment ago, I was talking about Cloud9 TSM. The reason I think Cloud9's a good matchup into TSM, and TSM's a good matchup into TL, is because who's more proactive earlier? FlyQuest is more proactive early than Team Liquid is, obviously.
Over Xfinity.
Like, out of good teams, TL is the least proactive team. They wait for you to make a mistake. Now, the problem for FlyQuest is they will make plenty of those mistakes unless they are on top of their fucking game. Unless Pobelter goes full Swain or Zoe carry on somebody. Because then, like, you can cover the mistakes by just killing people, or I'm Pobelter on Swain and I just survive everything until my team arrives, shit like that. I think, like, if you go lane-to-lane matchup, yeah, see, now it's like, ooh. If Viper shows the fuck up, like, he's had a couple games, like, where we've seen him do really good shit.
Mm-hmm.
If he does those games against Impact, I think he can actually get something done, because we've seen Impact falter here and there this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still very good, and I expect to see him, if TL wants to win this for sure, he should not be playing anything other than, like, tanks and super, like, heavy bruisers. Like, if he's on fucking Jace, and, like...
You're talking about Impact.
Yeah.
Yes. I
If
agree.
maybe he's on Kennen, I'm okay with it too, because his Kennen's
Team
been
comp.
good. But if he's on a Jace or some shit like that, they're asking to give up that lane.
That's not. I mean, his Jace also was a split pushing Jace at some points. Like he would be off in his own fucking.
Well, that's what
lane,
Jace does
Yeah.
eventually if your team doesn't... Because, like, when I said they had that one win on Jace,
Yeah.
but it had nothing to do with it. It was the rest of the team managed to do well enough that Impact didn't fuck them all, and the other team wasn't good enough about the map, where eventually, like, oh, I get to split push. Hey, I caught up. I took turrets because I'm Jace. Like, it's like if you let a Jax get to 40 minutes, he will take shit kind of thing. Like, Jace is earlier than
They'll
that.
take all the shit.
He will take so much shit. You know, I feel like, though, that overall, like, Team Liquid they have all the cards necessary to win. It's on them to not fuck up.
I agree. They have their ace, and
But-
that's Core JJ in my opinion. Because you
Oh,
can bring it down to
yeah.
each lane, and they're
Their
they're
bot
not
lane
that
is
far off.
head
But
and
the
shoulders
bot
above, I
lane
feel
is
like.
just just so different.
Yeah, I feel like double lift
They're
core
like
JJ.
head, shoulders, knees, and toes above most everyone else.
Eyes and ears and mouth and...
I don't know how it goes.
That's the whole thing.
All of it.
I'm just
though.
trying to
They
say
have
that
all of it.
the bottom of
They have
their
body
feet
parts.
is where
Yeah.
some of the other people top out at.
Yeah, but like, no, for real. Like, double lift over Wild Turtle, obviously. Core JJ over JJ, obviously. And then when you go to the other lanes, like, okay, now it gets more complicated. Like, Jensen over Pole Belter, yes, but Jensen's been kind of quiet this year, but I understand that because of who else is on his team, and he can't just, like, fucking go off all the time. And I think just that X-Smithy's not going to cater to him the same way that Cloud9 junglers have, you know, mostly Sunscared. But yeah, like, over the years, like, Cloud9's like, okay, jungler, you go to mid, you make sure Jensen wins, blah, blah. And it's like, no, Smithy's taking care of other shit. He shows up where he wants, when he wants, because he makes the right fucking decision. And he does.
Who? Sorry?
Smithy.
Because I was about to say, Smithy did real bad those last 2 games.
Yeah, he did. Those were his
Yeah.
by far the worst 2 games of, like, his whole season, though.
I mean, all of their
Like, by a
He was
long
like 0
fucking
and 4
shot.
at
I
some
think
point.
Jensen's a lot more self-sufficient than some of the other mid laners, and so
He is now, but he's also not popping off because of it.
yeah.
Like, he's been like Bjergsen levels of, like, quiet, but, like, Bjergsen's winning team fights, whereas Jensen's, like, showing up and getting some stuff. That's
Sure.
what it feels like to me. I don't know that that's, like, statistically accurate.
Is it because you're sad that he left
I
Cloud9?
Like, I keep checking myself on that, because I'm like, is it because of that? Be like, because I'm a Cloud9 fan. But I'm like, no, like, literally, if he was still popping off, I'd be like, fuck, I wish he was still with us. Like, I'm just like, I feel like I don't hear anything about him when TL plays. When TL plays, it's Smithy makes some big plays, Double Lift gets super fat.
around you. It's like
And Core JJ.
when
yeah,
your whole team
because
is
of
all
Core,
stars,
yeah.
like it's really hard to be like leaps and bounds above anyone else when you're going
yeah.
against the top of like your partner with
When
the
your
top
team
of every
is stacked AF.
yeah. Like I mean like that's like well we can pull it to sports ball for a second. Like if you're on LeBron James's team and you're doing well, no one gives 2 fucks because LeBron did one thing.
But, you know, when you're on Michael Jordan's
It's
team
true,
and you look
though.
very well, people still recognize Scottie Pippen, bro.
Yeah, we had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, and
people
Was
still
he on the same
recognize. Yeah,
that was the golden age.
the
of,
second
Bulls.
the
I don't
second
know that
three-peat was Dennis Rodman with him.
See, I heard about
He
those
might have only
people
been on the
same
last 2,
team.
but still.
And Jensen's still a big name. It's just Pole Belter goes BAM, and Jensen's just like.
But Liquid isn't even
Quiet.
those Bulls. He's the fucking current Golden State Warriors, where it's like, oh, you have like 4 of the best 8 players in the league. Fuck.
Are they the top team?
I don't even know where they're at right now. I just know LeBron didn't make the playoffs finally. First time in 8 years that he didn't make the playoffs. Not only that, first time in 8 years he didn't make the finals. Yeah.
Poor
So,
LeBron.
yeah, I feel a bit bad for him, but not so much. 'cause,
Yeah.
Like, he
He's
keeps
got
moving
millions-
teams, like, that shit's gonna happen.
Millions in the bank.
Multi-millionaire over here. Don't not feel
Oh,
so bad
God,
for him.
so
Let's-
much.
I was reading a story about sports ball people, and,
Sports ball people.
and I'm
That's
pretty
great.
sure LeBron is still being paid by like his like last 3 teams.
Are you serious? Like they just give him money?
They had, like, contracts where,
Yeah,
like,
he
they-
still has contracts with like maybe it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was LeBron. Like he's still getting paid from like his last 2 teams for like another year.
Oh, because they were paying him so much that they're like, we get to pay it over this many years or
Yeah.
something? Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, so he's just like I'm
'Cause
making
he-
all this money.
Yeah.
That's
I would
so
have thought that
cool.
was more like a baseball player, because it happens all the time where like they get traded, but there's something in their contract, like where this much, like when the trade goes through, it's like, oh, this much is paid by the previous team. Like, and there have been players who were like, they got traded and then cut, so they're being paid by 2 teams even though they weren't playing.
So yeah, he's being
Good.
paid by the last 2
Yeah.
teams he played on, and
Yeah.
he's still making his money from where he's at now.
Yeah.
Poor LeBron James.
Right, yeah. No, so anyway, back to TL and FlyQuest. God, you went off on a sports ball tangent. That's crazy.
So it was something I just read this week. So
You read something about sports ball?
it was in a different subreddit. It popped up, and then
He
I had
was
to
reading
double
something
check.
about new graphics cards, and then all of a sudden the article was like after it, and he didn't realize it until he was halfway through, and so he just finished.
Yeah, those fucking
The girls never came.
those fucking scrolly things where you're like one story into the next. Those are confusing as shit.
I hate
Yeah,
those websites.
yeah.
All right, so but like I think TL, like obviously you're gonna say like every lane that like TL's got the better threat there overall. But I do think the way FlyQuest has been playing with that more early aggression, like proactive play, they have to do that if they have any chance of beating TL.
They gotta
And if
like,
they-
go ham.
And then come 20 minutes, they need to fucking hold on and like lock themselves for a moment. Be like, okay, don't fuck up because this is when they want to fight. Wait like 5 minutes or so, and then go back to playing.
Maybe
If they just like take a break for 10 minutes, I think they can win.
Maybe Turtle's hair grows so fast that he'll have hair.
Oh shit.
Like maybe this was just to fuck with people. We're gonna bowl cut it up, and then he's gonna have like his hair all wavy and beautiful again.
Yeah, maybe.
Fuck you.
Maybe he gets a wig.
No,
I actually thought about the wig. I was like, that's a little too ridiculous.
It's like a
I did see it.
fluff.
It's a
Like
baby flush. Okay.
He's working on it again.
Yeah.
His confidence is coming back.
I mean, I think if FlyQuest wins, obviously would be a huge upset.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely huge upset. But if it happens, it would happen in like that proactive method, and I think watching it happen, nobody would be shocked between how TL played their last 3 games, which could have been coasting, could have been like them trying to be more proactive and failing, you know, like a whole bunch of things, right? Or, I mean, I guess the other thing could be like other teams finally like catching up to them, because when you go, hey, we made 2 changes, we brought in a fucking one of the best mid laners and like one of the best supports in the world, like you don't have as much to change and like adjust to as the other teams.
I think Double Lift is shining with what he has now.
Oh,
I can't imagine him working with Ole. I can't. Like,
and
I'm
they
sure
didn't
he did.
at times.
But,
like, no, you're right. Like, sometimes it worked well, and sometimes it did not work.
Core JJ has messed up in the last few games too, though. But again, it was a collective fucking up.
Yeah,
between all their lanes, all their people, they had already locked it in.
And I think that's another good point for Team Liquid to lose. Like, they need to be firing on 3 or fewer cylinders. Like, if 4 players are playing well, I think they can carry a game out against FlyQuest. But like, if Core JJ's fucking up, they'll be fine. If just Xmithy's fucking up, they'll be fine. If Core JJ and Xmithy are fucking up, okay, now we have a problem. If Impact and Jensen are fucking up, now we have a problem. Yeah, if you have 2 more players not getting it done, then we have an issue. But the fact that you have the luxury of, he's going to suck this game, but we're good, other teams can't do that. I don't even think Cloud9 can do that.
So what do you think it's going to be for your prediction on the series?
I'm going to go ahead and say 3-1 TL right now.
3-1 TL?
I
that's
think
a cop-out, and you're probably going to be right.
What?
I said that's a cop-out, and you're probably going to be right.
How's that a cop-out?
Because 3-0 is the power pick.
Oh,
It
well,
is.
I went power pick on TSM, so let's
That
be
was
fair here.
wrong.
Yeah.
3-1 is what my thought was it would be. I'm like, nah, fuck it, let's go, 3-0. And then fucking game 1, is this crazy fucking mess, and Fox won it. Like, both teams tried to throw the shit out of that game. But
I'm going to cop out too. I'll say Wild Turtle. Wild Turtle has a chance on winning a game by himself. I think
Flash
I think
forward.
FlyQuest has a chance to win.
He gets some extensions or something, maybe.
Maybe, yes. He's gonna have to.
Ooh, what about colored extensions? So he's got the coif, but it's got streaks of fucking blue or something.
I don't know. Since Smoothie can pull off
Green,
the gray
green
hair,
is
I
fine.
think
That's
that
true. That'd be cool.
I think that
Green and
Turtle can
gold
pull
all
off.
What?
Ooh. I was gonna say that Smoothie can pull off the gray golden hair, the gray silver hair.
Dude,
I bet Turtle could pull off the blue and yellow.
The smoothie gray, silver hair looks so good.
I like it.
The sneaky?
Smoothie.
Smoothie?
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just his hair normally, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, he's been rocking it for a year, almost, I bet. If he's still rocking it right now.
The other person is Rivington. So.
Weirdly enough, if I just type
Riv
in
actually is
Smoothie-
gone gray, but
Yeah.
he's just a good looking bro. Alright,
He's
so
a gentleman.
if you look up Smoothie, the first thing's with the gray or
Oh
the
yeah,
silver.
yeah. I've seen
I
it.
tried to pull up. I just tried to type in smoothie, and it was like, "Do you want to go to a smoothie bar?" I was like, "God damn it! Know what I'm trying to look for."
My gym,
It knows
whenever
you
you check
fat.
in, you can post to Twitter and you get +5 bonus points, whatever, and you build up these points and you can buy stuff at the gym, like clothes and stuff, but you can also get smoothies.
Nice.
So every time I check in, I'm literally just like smoothie. My last 2 have been smoothie, but not the player. And then the last one was smoothie, but this time the player.
Nice.
No one has any fucking clue what I'm talking
You gotta
about.
tweet
'cause
it
it's
at
like my gym.
TSM as well.
I didn't.
Oh.
It just tweets to my gym or something. I don't know.
All right.
But again, Twitter. How does it work?
Twitter. I did a hashtag how I LCS, but I forgot to tweet it at LCS or whatever. But I did over this weekend because I had Sean's dog, so it was me. Because dog equals bonus points in any how I LCS. It was dog sitting at its finest. It was me and Jester chilling watching Golden Guardians. But yeah,
Anyways,
so we all have TL moving on, and we all have Cloud9.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked. I thought I was gonna be out on a limb with Cloud9 like after TSM stuff, but then when you start talking shit about Acadian, I was like, okay, he's gonna go Cloud9.
I would like to see either of those teams win. I would like to see any. Like, I don't really have a dog in this fight still. Like, I've never picked a favorite team. I like TLC9,
so
TSM, and FlyQuest.
Cloud9 won the first 2 splits when they entered the league. So the end of 2013, the beginning of 2014, they have gotten second 5 times since then.
You're always the bridesmaid.
And other than that, they've been 5th or worse. Like, they've continued to, like, not... Well, and the thing is, like, when that switch happened was when they got Jensen. So Jensen has never gotten a finals. So, like, there's that thing, too. Like, part of the reason he left Cloud9 for TL is because, like, he wanted to win a fucking LCS championship.
And now he has a chance.
You're right. But if you were to lose again...
That would suck. Okay.
Like, it would be like, for years, there was a subreddit, which was a joke, and it was called Double Lifts Trophy Case. It still exists, of course, so it's /r Double Lifts Trophy Case. Or r/whatever. And there was just no posts.
Oh,
and then when he finally won, like, the first one got, like, 19,000 upvotes, you know, whatever. Like, and so now there's things in there, and, like, people, every time, like, he wins a MVP or a championship or whatever, like, they put a post in there.
So it's not like r/Black Fathers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so now there's...
Go to it. Reddit /
yeah. But now there is r/Jensen's trophy case, which is also devoid of posts.
Aw, see, don't tell me things like this. Now I want Jensen to win.
I don't... never been a big fan of Double Lift, don't like his trash talking. I get that. Like, I think if
highly offensive.
more players would have...
That's an ad. That's an ad.
Yeah. No, there's just nothing.
Maybe, actually, there is now. It's
Is
Carl.
there a
Look at
post?
this. Yeah.
Oh, it's just Carl Winslow?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a sticky.
Okay, it's normally, it just says there is nothing here.
Oh.
That's what it normally says.
Yeah, there's a handful of joke subreddits like that.
That's amusing.
So, now there's something there, apparently.
Yeah. It's mostly, like, good players who have never won anything, that there's always a whoever's trophy case, and it's just, there's nothing here.
Well, I hope Jensen gets one, but, I mean, I wouldn't matter if it was Niski, Jensen,
I want to win so bad.
Cobelter, or...
I hope Cloud9 can take down I mean, like, honestly, the odds are it's going to be TL, Cloud9, TSM. One of those 3 is going to win. Which is like, okay, great, we've all been here before. Like, if you're not the fan of that team, you don't give a shit.
I like them all. I'm so excited. It doesn't matter. I like watching them. Like, even Golden Guardians. Like, not so much Fox, but Golden Guardians is like, whoever wins.
All right. So, last thing for the day, let's do a quick recap on who got the LCS All-Pro teams in the actual votings, right? So, number 3, third team All LCS was Broken Blade, Santorin, Niski, Sven, and Smoothie. Okay?
Okay. So, first off, please, because I don't do research on my own to the people out there.
Yes.
I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
We talked about this last week. We gave, like, our picks for it.
Yeah.
These are the
actual
actual
what
ones.
it was for? Do they play games like this?
No.
Oh,
It's literally
just
an award.
Yeah.
Like, they get a plaque or something, I'm sure. Like, it's an award.
Gotcha.
And so then when, like, you go back and you're like, oh, yeah, he was 13 last year. He's been... Mostly you talk about first team, but, like, sports do this in general.
Because I would have loved to see some, like, this team
That'd be
here
dope.
just play some games.
The assumption would be first would beat second and second would beat third.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, synergy matters, but yeah.
It'd be fun to watch an all-pro team play against, like, a fun team like the Casters, or, like, we pull in, like,
That'd be
McKay
cool.
by and Tyler
Smack
won.
the shit out of them.
Well,
Jesus.
I mean, it'd be, like, a fun event type thing,
Right.
but yeah.
Okay, so
third team all-pro, but they have to play, like, they, like, flip it, and so they all have to play, like, a different role.
Go through the third is what you're doing?
So third was Broken Blade,
Yeah.
Santorin, Niski, Sven, and Smoothie. So those were all considered the third best. And I get that. I think we can all mostly agree with, like, those across the board, honestly. Like, it's funny because we all picked Niski for first and he got third. That one was, like, the most off. I think we all had Smoothie third. I think a couple of us had Sven third. Broken Blade higher than we thought, but I think, as I mentioned yesterday, I think there's a big bias to just be like, well, these teams are good, so, like, the players are good, too.
So, I vaguely remember in the past, we saw, like, actual, like, members of other teams win these, and then...
We can look at the ballots and see, like, who voted for who, how.
Oh, okay.
The ballots are public.
Okay.
I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't gone through those, but yeah, like, I think for a lot of the, not the players as much, but I think for a lot of the journalists who work for outlets who aren't like super into esports, like maybe an ESPN person or some shit like that, or Yahoo Sports, like not talking shit, like maybe they are super focused in, but I think maybe they don't have to be as crazy fucking into the numbers, and they're just like, yeah, this guy's better. Like, they just feel that way rather than, like, really going back and, like, rewatching all the footage. Because maybe they have, like, multiple beats. Yeah. Maybe they are the esports person, so they watch League and Dota and fucking Overwatch. And it's like, you don't have the time to fucking get into the weeds on this shit. So that can skew stuff.
So it's like a loosely calculated thing based on the top few teams mostly.
I mean, I think for those people, it might be. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, the actual voting is every single player, every single coach. I don't know if owners, but, like, all the casters, all the analysts, mm-hmm. and then all, like, main journalists, like, they all get a ballot to fill out their top 3. And then those points are calculated and put in. So.
Because if we were just basing this off names, Niski would be number 1 because it's the better name.
Yeah. So second team was Impact, which surprised me that he got second personally, but okay. I mean, I don't think he's bad by any means, but I don't think any of us had him, like, second. Did we?
It's because, like, I was, like, trying to pick players I actually like rather than, like, the top 3 of each, because, like, right. I could have won this by saying, like, everyone from TL, all Pro 1. Well, everyone from Cloud9,
TL
all Team 2.
Right, well, and I think we saw, but I think all of us agreed we saw Impact have a lot of, like, weak games this year. And granted, it was because he played Jace a few times, but I'm sorry, but, like, that goes on your fucking record, right?
I honestly, like after looking at this list, I was very disappointed. I was like, oh, they literally just picked the top 3 teams and are like, here you go.
And I feel like
and then fucking Santorin. I need to look to
see how many
ballots. I was like, Santorin deserves that.
Yeah, I need to see how many ballots are that way. But like I said, I think there are some journalists who, for whatever outlet they are the esports writer for several sports. Whereas, like, you know, when you do like baseball, basketball, football voting, like, okay, granted, those mostly don't go all on at the same time by any means, but like, a lot of them are dedicated writers. Like, all I write about is basketball. So it's like, well, shit, yeah, you spend all your time watching these teams rather than, well, I'm watching, like, fucking 3 different sports and, like, maybe multiple regions. Like, maybe they're the League of Legends reporter for every, so they have to watch LCS, LCK, you know, LEC, LPL, like, maybe mostly just LCS.
If I got paid to do it, I could probably do it. If I just did it as a hobby, fuck.
Yeah,
no.
But, I mean, you think of it, like, there's 10 teams in 3 of those regions and 16 in China.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How many in Korea? Just 10?
I think Korea's just 10. They're major. I could be wrong, but I know there's 10.
China has so many.
China just expanded again, but yeah.
They got
China's got
gaming.
billion people. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
And a lot of money. But yeah. So, second team, though, was Impact, Svenskeren, Jensen, Sneaky, and Zazel. And though, I mean, other than the Impact, that was very similar to what we all had. Mm-hmm. And then in first team, Licorice, Xmithy, Bjergsen, Doublelift, and Core JJ. And other than Bjergsen, I think that's exactly what we all picked almost. Like, I didn't have Xmithy first.
Did you see that? Did you see that Impact got second with only 48 points? Broken Blade only got third with 35 points. Licorice got first with 129 votes.
I did not notice that. But, I mean, really, like, when we were talking about it, we're like, Licorice is the best in the league.
No, yeah,
by
absolutely.
a fucking margin.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I'm still surprised Impact and Broken Blade got those, because I think
they fucking got pity points somewhere.
I'll have to look at it, because I bet there were more people like myself who was like, Solo's actually pretty fucking good. Like, maybe Solo's like 4th or something. But yeah, like, let's look at the other gap. So that one was 129 down to 48.
Look at that. Mm-hmm. That 48, 88, wow. 87, 65, 81.
Well, and actually,
that's absurd.
So the other big gaps like that are Doublelift 126 dropped down to 65 to Sneaky. Mm-hmm. So that's actually around the same gap. Like, it's close to the same gap. And 132 for Core JJ down to 81 for Zazel. I'm shocked Smoothie's so much lower than Zazel. 81 down to 51, honestly.
Sorry.
But yeah, like, we all went Core JJ, Zazel, Smoothie. So I think and like, maybe the points reflect that everybody's like, yeah, no, that's 1, 2, 3, done.
And Core JJ had the mostest points.
Yes. The mostest. Which one was the closest between, probably 102 to 88? Yeah, 102 to 88, 105 to 87 between jungles and mids. Mm-hmm. So that was actually pretty close.
That's pretty cool that they do that. I like that.
Yeah.
It's hard because there's so many people, too.
So I'd put Xmithy second as highest with Acadian for... Alan's on my train. Acadian, I bet you... I'm curious. I mean, like, I could go add up his fucking points, but I bet you is real close behind 59 for Santorin.
Maybe. I do think,
I will be shocked if Zix doesn't get Coach of the Year. With Acadian not being in the top 3 junglers, I have a feeling more people credited TSM's success to Zix then. Which, fine, I get that. Like, because I think both were necessary. You need a jungler who could execute that and a coach who would let him do that kind of thing. So, we'll get Coach and Rookie of the Split Viper next week.
So we don't know for sure.
We don't, but it's going to be Viper, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not... It could maybe be Vulcan.
Next week, right?
Well, it doesn't... this is regular season reward.
So it doesn't...
These ballots were all cast before quarterfinals happened.
So why don't they give it to us till later?
Because they just stretch it out over time.
Makes sense.
And mostly so that at finals they can hand out the MVP award on stage.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they do it on stage. So.
I wish that it could include these coming up matches because I'd really like to see how Viper does against TL.
Yeah. I mean there'll be a post-season MVP award, but...
Cool. Exciting.
Or I guess there's a finals MVP.
So there's matches next week, and then one more the weekend after.
Yep.
And then we have a week off.
We have more than that off, I believe. Let me pull it up just to be certain.
I love weeks off.
Yeah.
They're my favorite.
I don't. That's gonna suck.
So,
but I think I'll be in Florida for like a weekend. So
here, actually, let's close out the episode. Then we'll talk about that quick. So, any last thoughts before we head into next weekend's matches?
I got nothing. We
Golden Guardians got robbed.
I don't think they got robbed. They left their purse in their car. They deserve it.
Laces out, bitches.
Aftershock Lysandra. Alright, on that note, though, that's going to be the end of League of Loggers Season 3, Episode 10.
Soda.
Cheers. Yeah.